been hearing about the crisis nursery since I was a kid, and of course it's very important to my mother as well. The crisis nursery is really a network of child care homes where the providers are specially trained in crisis nursery care. And it's a resource for parents who are in crisis, parents who are out of childcare options, or sick children who aren't allowed into a traditional childcare setting. The crisis nursery in Olmsted County is very busy and very well utilized, and the most wonderful thing that it does is it prevents parents from missing work, losing jobs, and losing income due to not being able to find childcare. So, and it's also an example of a social service program not mandated by the state, but funded by Olmsted County. And for many parents, it's really considered a godsend. And it's an incredibly valuable network and resource that we have in this community.
Thank you. Our next audience question deals with low-income home buyers. We're going to begin with candidate Podulke-Smith. The GAIN program was designed to make home ownership easier for low-income home buyers. Are there any changes needed to the program?
Great question. I appreciate this question very much. The GAIN program, Growing Affordable Inclusive Neighborhoods. The county used $3 million in ARPA funds. It's an Olmsted County program to incentivize home building for income-qualified families and low-income home buyers. And the setup is that Olmsted County would give a family or a home buyer $10,000 toward their down payment if they were able to build a home in $300,000 or less. And since those parameters were spelled out, there have been changes in the market, inflation, cost of labor, labor shortage, cost of materials, and supply chain issues, such that the parameters of the GAIN program will need to be adjusted, and maybe adjusting for income and maybe adjusting that down payment amount. But those original parameters don't quite apply anymore. The idea is that new home buyers, there would be 500 new homes spread equally throughout Olmsted County under this program.
Thank you. Candidate Stead.
Yeah, I concur with much of what you said. I think you did a great job there. And I would just add that, once again, Olmsted County is doing a lot of things right. The GAIN program is a great program. Can we improve on it? Absolutely, yes. What you outlined is we're going to have to continue to reflect back and appropriately, reasonably look back at the price of the homes. May we need to improve or raise that up. We might have to look at the income levels, but these are programs that you have to continue to be aware of, reevaluate, and then I think the biggest thing that we can do for the population is educate them to what the options are. I think if you surveyed this crowd right now, who knows what GAIN means? We don't know what GAIN means. Our job as the county is to kind of get that information out there to let them know what's available. That, I think we can do a better job at. That said, I think Olmsted County is doing a lot of things right.
Thank you. And we have a rebuttal. Yes.
I want to build on what you said, Laurel. It makes me think of Greg Wright, one of our commissioners, and something he said at his forum earlier in this week, and that is, he's never satisfied and he never rests. And I'm not to that point yet, but I really appreciate that spirit of continuous improvement, that we're not satisfied, but we're oriented in an overall direction and striving to improve our process continuously.
Thank you. Our next audience question, we're going to begin with candidate Stead. How serious is crime in Olmsted County, and what should be done to address the needs that are present?
That's a wonderful question. I think you can tell me. What do you guys think? Is crime worse? Do you feel safe going out? Do you feel safe walking over in Graham Park behind a Civic Center Drive at 8 o'clock tonight? I don't. I don't at all. Public safety is a big deal. I would tell you that I am fully for never defunding the police. I would fully work with them, modify police, give them community involvement. I think we have 4 social service workers going with them in certain situations. That's a wonderful thing. But safe right now? I think Team Torgerson is doing a great job, but we want to be fully funded and do everything we can do to help them achieve best practices. And that means personnel, that means equipment, and biggest of all, I think, training. As a physician, I would go out for training once a month. Training a lot of times, think of these guys and gals. They are in life and death situations with the person who's doing the assailing, and you, and me, and your child. That's brutal. They can't just get their training twice a year or 4 times a year. So I would really do all to increase training. And the question's not mine, the question's yours. Are we safer?
Candidate Podulke-Smith.
It is so incredibly important that we support public safety and our law enforcement. I mean, it's easy to criticize law enforcement until you need them, and when you need them, you really need them, and you need them right now to solve a problem, and it could be a very big problem that you have. So, I had an interesting day doing a ride-along with one of the sheriff's patrol sergeants, and I learned a lot that day about how heavily law enforcement relies, especially in the sheriff's department, how heavily sheriff's deputies rely on their powers of de-escalation. Because they could be in remote parts of the county and backup is nowhere nearby. So I especially appreciate the sheriff's office and deputies' ability to de-escalate a situation, stabilize a situation, and establish a safety without a furthering of violence or an escalation of a problem.
Thank you. And rebuttal.
And I would say we should change this. I'm not disagreeing with anything she says, rebuttal, all I'm adding to. So I think you did a great job. I would just say this, I too have ridden along with both Sheriff's Department and city's departments numerous times over the last 40 years since we've been here. And specific to the county, we have 18 townships, 655 square miles to cover. We have 7 cities, I think. The response time for the city, I think, for safety is maybe 4 minutes. Think of the response time for the county. I think it might be a time or 2 more than that, maybe 8 or 10. They're both doing a wonderful job. Let's give them the support they need, the personnel they need, the equipment they need, the training they need.
Thank you. And a rebuttal.
And getting back to the original question, what can be done about crime? Yeah. Well, something that my husband Darren and I did after there was some violence in our neighborhood is we installed a bench outside our house that was very obvious for strangers and passersby and pedestrians to sit in. It's a welcome bench. And I made it a real point after that particularly violent episode to talk with my neighbors and to encourage neighbors to talk with other neighbors, to join the neighborhood association. Because neighborhoods that are more connected, more spending time outside with each other, tuned into what's happening in the neighborhood, are safer neighborhoods.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Very good.
In case we don't have time for more, I'm going to ask this question from the audience, and we're going to begin with candidate Podulke-Smith. What is the most important thing you learned during this campaign?
For all the study that I put in to learning everything I could about Olmsted County, the real learning came when I started going door to door. And I shouldn't have been so surprised by this because I'm an optimistic person, a very positive person, a trusting person. But I was, let's just say, delighted to learn that overwhelmingly, almost everyone is kind and appropriate and courteous, glad to meet me, curious about why I'm there. They have things to share on their mind and wish me well, and that was the real learning, and that aside from just a handful of some unpleasant interactions, basically, everybody is good and kind, and that's just true behind almost every doorbell. Even if we would disagree in ideology or disagree on the topics themselves, that basic human goodness is always there.
Thank you. And Candidate Stead.
Yes, thank you. Great question. What I learned straight up and quickly is you can't do it alone. The county can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. It's all about collaboration. Just undertaking, I commend you for hitting so many houses. The metrics show there's 11,700 homes in our district. I think that's a little high, but there's 10,000. It's brutal. Without the Fab 14 walking, could have never done it. Without the Super 7 helping me, never could have done it. The county could never do their services alone. Think of this. If we didn't have Hiawatha Children's Home, think if we didn't have Cardinal Care, think if we didn't have Rochester Foundation, IMAA. It's all about collaboration. I've worked with these people. I have a 30-year experience with these people, and I know what their mission is. They know what our mission is, and let's work collaboratively to make that home happen. So the take home, you can't do it alone. We got to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the questions portion of our forum. We will now hear the closing statements from each candidate. Candidate, you have 2 minutes to speak, and Candidate Stead will go first.
Thank you. Thank you to all for making this happen. Thank you for everyone who listened. Thank you to everybody who's online. And thank you to our little 7-year-old who's out there listening. This is a big job. This is a huge job. $300 million budget nearing. That's huge. You want somebody with experience to make that happen. I'm that person. I think I have the experience in health and human services, fiscal responsibility, starting my own business, knowing the value you need from your taxes. I want to do this job for you. I'm here for you. Let's make it happen. Think of this. Faith, family, friends, football, and God bless USA. Of all the 195 countries in the world, you're in America. We're in a great spot. Of 50 states, you get to be in Minnesota. 87 counties, you get to be in Olmsted. Of 853 cities, you get to be in Rochester. Are we blessed or what? Olmsted County is doing a lot of things right. But being on the commission, we're going to even trying to make things better. I think this is a great forum you guys have put on. I thank you very much. My life and vision is all about leading by example, just like you, making it happen, just like you, service above self, just like all of you. And who's watching? Your family's watching. The kids are watching. Your family's watching. Your community's watching. Let's do the right thing. Let's choose to do the right thing. We can do that. Olmsted County, services done right. A vote for Stead is a vote for experience. Thank you.
Thank you. And Candidate Podulke-Smith.
So much of life happens on the county level. I'm running for this office to make a positive impact on the day-to-day lives of Olmsted County residents, to give back to the community that's given so much to me, because I care deeply for my community. I'm here to represent your concerns, your interests, and be your voice on the county board. I'm running for this office because life is short. Life is precious, and what we do makes a difference. And our task is to decide what kind of difference we want to make. And the kind of difference I want to make is to devote my life's work to improving quality of life for Olmsted County residents through public service. I'm the candidate with the determination and the willingness to put in the legwork every day to better understand my community, to be your voice on the county board. I want to keep Olmsted County a safe, healthy, and vibrant community for our children, for families, for seniors, for friends, neighbors, and newcomers. I look forward to working with fellow commissioners and county staff, local leaders, and community members to ensure exceptional county services today and for generations to come. District 1 voters, I'm asking you for the chance to be your good steward of Olmsted County resources. I believe I've gained your trust, and now I'm asking for your vote. Laurel Podulke-Smith, District 1 Olmsted County Commissioner on Election Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, did you feel attacked?
Oh, no, I don't even know what these were. Can I do just a rebuttal? I just wanted to add one thing. Oh, no, I didn't know. Is that the attack? I don't feel attacked at all.
Yeah.
I would like, can we have co-people? I thought, have you seen a group get along better? Huh? This was good.
I don't know if we can.
So, thank you, Laurel. You did a great job. I would just concur with many things you said. No, that didn't mean that. I was just going to add one thing, but that's okay. Not a problem.
All right. Thank you. I would like to thank each of the candidates for participating in tonight's forum. Thank you for your service to the community and your willingness to participate in the democratic process by running for office. I'd like to remind you that the views expressed in the forum tonight were those of the candidates, not those of the League of Women Voters Rochester or any partner or sponsor of the forum. Thanks to our partners, the Rochester Area Chamber of Commerce, the Rochester Post-Bulletin, and the Rochester Public Library. Remember that Election Day is November 8th. Early voting has started, as you know. If you learned something, if you already voted and you wish to change your vote by something you learned tonight, like the candidates were not nice enough to each other.
That's not the case here. We love each other.
You can change your ballot based on what you learned tonight by visiting mnvotes.org for more information on that process. If you have a question about your polling place or you'd like to see your sample ballot, there are cards on your seats from vote411.org. To see this forum again, or any of the other forums from the League of Women Voters Rochester or the Rochester Public Library, visit their websites. The library and the League post complete, unedited recordings of these forums on their websites. Editing is authorized only for the official media reporting. Excerpts or edited clips of this forum may not be posted on candidate websites or social media or used for political purposes. You may provide a link to the League of Women Voters or Rochester Public Library recordings, however. I want to add that the Rochester Public Library has stayed open for us tonight until 8:15. They officially closed at 8, so hightail it out of here. Thank you, everybody.